Well, moving on to page 30. Here, a little bit more rhythm, music theory in terms of rhythm and counting. And when you have a whole note, you cut it in half, you end up with two half notes. You cut a half note in half, you end up with two quarter notes. You cut a quarter note in half, you end up with two eighth notes. And those eighth notes, I mean, they're called eighth notes because inside of a whole note, there's 8 of them. You know, you cut a whole note into eighth notes, you get 8 notes. That's too much math for me right now. But that's how it works out mathematically. And if that's how you think about it, that's what it is. And so on number 67 here, page 30, number 67, they give us a line of music that's all one note. It's all E. So the eighth notes are going to sound twice as fast as the quarter notes. I mean, the quarter notes the tempo is going to be the same. But now we're doing twice as many notes in the same count. And another thing they give you is something called a downstroke or an upstroke. I played a lot of violin, and down bow, up bow, it's the same symbol. And so kind of a V is for coming back up, and kind of a rectangle shape is for going down. So a down bow, down stroke, I guess I'll call it for my guitar playing here, is from this way, that way. So I'm going just, right? And upstroke is going to be the opposite direction. All right? Down, up, down, up, right? And so far to this point, everything has pretty much been downstrokes. Now we can kind of start. This probably means that we've evolved and we're good enough to try upstrokes now. So I'm going to do that. So here is number 67 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right. Now, when you count eighth notes, when you count quarter notes, it's just a number. 1, 2, 3, 4. When you count eighth notes, the first eighth note is always a number because it corresponds to the beginning of where the quarter note would be. And then you have the second eighth note, we call that and. So the way we count this line is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, so I'm going to play it that way. And that's what I just did, but no reason why we can't do it again. So 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Doesn't matter what string you do this on. I think they just gave you that because it's easy. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. So that's all it is. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You can be very robotic about it at the beginning, and that helps you master the technique. And then later on you can loosen up and make it different.